My name is Gregg Small. I'm the Executive Director of Climate Solutions. It's my honor to welcome you all here this morning to celebrate our 20th anniversary as an organization. What I want to do this morning is really to tell you the story of Climate Solutions, where we've been, and where we're going. We were formed 2 decades ago in Olympia by two really incredibly visionary people. Names were mentioned earlier, Paul Horton and Reese Roth. And Paul and Reese had a way of thinking that was really special and still guides us today. And it launched our organization back in 1998. And their vision, and that vision which still guides us today, is that we can achieve shared economic prosperity through clean energy solutions. A powerful belief that what we do in our corner of the world, the Northwest, matters a lot, and that our leadership and action here can inspire greater action still far beyond our borders. So that's what they brought to the table 20 years ago. And back in 1998, and unfortunately much more than we would like to see happen today, there was this unfortunately widespread misunderstanding that if we take steps to address climate change, we'll take big economic hits. That what's good for the climate is bad for the economy and bad for individual pocketbooks. Reese and Paul and the early staff and board of this organization strongly rejected that mistaken belief. And instead, they worked to create a new narrative, one grounded in research and conversations with leading experts that told a different story. So what's the story they told? They told a story about how we can model effective, practical climate leadership here in the Northwest, showing how we can grow jobs and industries and shared economic prosperity by increasing our investments and policy commitments to solutions to the climate crisis. So when we got started in 1998, for a decade, we cranked out cutting-edge reports, thought pieces that laid out that vision. We developed and shared what we think was an inspiring solutions narrative. But as time wore on, we as an organization recognized that while winning the narrative was critical, it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to get the job done. To accelerate progress, we felt we needed to make policy changes to affect real change, to clear the way for solutions at scale commensurate to the climate crisis that we face. So we started to grow our policy advocacy work, build powerful partnerships to bridge divides, and we began to chalk up some major victories here in the Northwest. This one, Gina, I think will appreciate. Back in 2005, both in Washington and Oregon, we helped to pass clean cars legislation, which ultimately led to the Obama administration's landmark efforts to double the fuel efficiency of cars, which Gina played a major role in. Seems like a lifetime ago when we last won at the ballot, where we're going to win again at the ballot, but we helped to pass Initiative 937, which established a renewable energy standard and helped grow the wind and solar and energy efficiency industries in this state. And then came the election of Barack Obama in 2008. We remember that time well. I will not dwell on politics, but from a pure climate and clean energy perspective, oh, it felt good. It felt really good. And we were audaciously hopeful. We had the dream of passing that federal cap and trade bill back in 2008, 2009, 2010. But we know where that story ended. We ended up not being successful in passing that bill, and also in Oregon and Washington, those pieces of legislation did not move forward, and it was just like a really rough time at Climate Solutions and for the entire climate and clean energy movement for a couple years after that. I mean, we were so close to winning something big, and then all of a sudden, it seemed very, very far away. But we have to, and we picked ourselves back off the mat, and we won some big things in the years after that loss. In 2010, we won a really big victory with the passage of a bill to phase out Washington's lone coal-fired power plant in Centralia. That was good. Then the big one, we won with a lot of organizations here. I saw Jan and Patty and others of the Earth Justice in partnership with so many others. We won some of, for my money, the most important climate victories in the state. Climate Solutions and others helped to form the Power Pass Coal Coalition. We beat back every fossil fuel proposal. The coal export terminals ultimately proposed would have been 40 times the amount of coal that's burned in the Centralia coal plant. And we beat them all. It was amazing. That was a great win. More recently in Oregon, we helped to pass 2 cutting-edge policies. We helped to pass a clean fuel standard, which takes a big bite out of transportation emissions. And we also passed a bill that will double the amount of renewable energy in the state. So, you know, those wins really help to demonstrate to us, and I think to others, the value of coupling that shared, powerful narrative about shared economic prosperity through climate solutions, as well as policy changes. So let me return to vision and where we're at today. So I think some of you heard me talk about this before. I think I talked a little bit about it last year for those of you who were here. Climate Solutions has recently adopted a new strategic plan, and I think we have the most exciting vision in our organization's history, and that vision is this: that the Northwest can be the first region in the nation to have a 100% clean electrical grid, meaning that all of our energy is powered by highly efficient and clean sources of energy. That's the vision of where we want to go, and we also want to make sure that we leverage that clean energy grid to electrify everything. More electric cars, more electric buses, 100% clean, electrify everything. These are the guiding principles around which we will do all of our work moving forward. I couldn't be more excited about this. So what's ahead? Number one, many of you were out there signing signatures for it. We are partnering with so many others after so many years to bring to the ballot. We are going to have a winning measure, the Protect Washington Act. This year, in November, the Protect Washington Act, we are going to pass that here in Washington State. We can do this together. Winning that campaign is going to be a Herculean task. It's going to take all of us working together, but I think we can do it. We also have really big hopes and aspirations for the legislative sessions in Washington and Oregon coming up. In Washington this year, we came achingly close, within just a few votes, of passing a major bill to having the state commit to 100% fossil-free electricity. This coming year, we're going to work harder than ever in partnership with many others to pass a policy that sets the foundation to get to 100% clean. And in Oregon, we're going to win passage of the Clean Energy Jobs Act, which will allow Oregon to join California and other jurisdictions to put a price on pollution and invest in solutions. That is going to happen in 2019 in Oregon. We have a lot of other things that we're working on, but those 3 big policy things that I mentioned, the Protect Washington Act, a piece of legislation that will set us on the way to 100% clean, and the Clean Energy Jobs Act in Oregon, those are our 3 big policy goals. But these policies, they're not our quest. It's through these policies that we'll be able to realize our founding vision of clean energy solutions, bringing us safely through the climate crisis and delivering shared economic prosperity for communities in the Northwest and far beyond. That's where we're going together. Thank you all for being here this morning. I appreciate it.